What's up, guys? Welcome back to another tier list Tuesday. Sorry it's been a while since I recorded one. I just have forgotten to, and I didn't have any ideas, but I have a new idea today. Something very talked about in the NHL. It's going to be where Mitch Marner signs in free agency. If you are living under a rock, the Maple Leafs, they got eliminated in 7 games, a big surprise, to the Florida Panthers in the second round. And Mitch Marner is a pending UFA, which means his contract is over. So that means he can sign with any team in the league come July 1st. Quick rundown if you don't know, if you don't follow hockey too much. The Toronto Maple Leafs, this team right here, they are perennial playoff chokers. They suck in the playoffs, and Mitch Marner is like arguably a top 25 player in the league. They just have not won anything while he was there for the last 9 years. So everyone is thinking he's going to leave Toronto, which is kind of a huge deal. He'd be one of the biggest free agents in sports, I guess in sports, honestly, in the last like 10 years maybe, especially in hockey. So we're going to tier list where I think he is going to sign. So these are the tiers. I have top contenders, probably the teams I think most likely to get him or he'll most likely sign with. A good chance where he'll sign. It's a possibility. I doubt it. And then no chance where I don't think he even thinks about a possibility of signing there. And then at the end, I'll just pick my pick for which team is most likely. That was a long intro. I have every team's like financial situation. It's called cap. I actually forget what it's short for, but it's like it's like cap space of how much money they can spend and stuff like that, and their other free agents. So yeah, let's just get started here. Anaheim, a lot of people say Anaheim just because they're like an up and coming team. They're like just getting out of their rebuild, but like they're slowly making progression. They have a lot of cap space. Just give a little background, Mitch Marner will probably sign for about at least 10, if he hits free agency, at least $10 million a year. Probably honestly more than 11, especially because of free agency. Every team's gonna bid for him and try to sign him, so they're gonna offer him more money. Anaheim has a lot of cap space. They have 38 million. Only have as major free agents for their own team is Mason McTavish and Lucas Dostal, and they're not gonna eat up all 38 million. Anaheim is a nice place too in California. I think Mitch Marner might want to go there. A lot less media attention there too, and like he doesn't really have to worry about the playoffs right now. Maybe in a few years, sure, but right now he can just like relax, maybe like take his mind off of things. But I don't know if he wants to go there or like somewhere he wants to compete for the cup like right now. I'll put them in good chance for now. Boston, honestly, like if you guys don't know, Boston has tormented the Leafs for the last decade plus, actually, like at least 12 years, since back to 2013 I think it was. I don't think there's any chance he goes there. Plus, like, Bruins are literally going into a rebuild. They have the money to sign him, but like they're not going to sign him. That'd be insane if Marner signed with Boston, especially if they're going into a rebuild. I don't think they're going to sign a big free agent anyway like that. Kind of same with Buffalo. I don't even have to look at the projections. I feel like they're just like spinning their own tires. They don't even know what they're doing. I feel like signing a big free agent, I guess it would help them in their regular season. They don't even care how they do in the playoffs. They just want to get there. But honestly, I don't think they're gonna sign them. Plus, they have their own free agents like Peterka and Jack Quinn, and they only have 23 million. So I don't think they're gonna have the money to spend anyway. Calgary is interesting. A lot of people this year thought they were gonna suck. Me too, honestly. I thought they'd be like bottom 5 team, but they almost made the playoffs. I think they were like short by a point or something like that. But I don't think that like warrants them going out and signing a big free agent like Marner, where they should be gunning for the playoffs. I think they should like slowly like retool and all that stuff. So plus there's like rumors that Marner doesn't want to sign in a Canadian market. He wants to sign somewhere in the States. But they have the money. I'll put it in doubt it. Look, Flames have 28 million in cap space this summer, but honestly I don't really like see them signing him. I'm sure Calgary would be interested, but I doubt it. Carolina, they have 28 million as well this summer, and they don't have any crazy pending free agents like Brent Burns, but he's probably might retire, and Orlov, which he's not gonna get that much. And Carolina is a contender for the cup normally, but honestly I think they're one of the top contenders. They have the cap space. They make the playoffs every year. They're like a lock to get to the second round at least for the most part, which is good. I think and Carolina could use a big free agent. They could use a star like Marner. They don't really have that. They have Aho, but he's not like, I don't think he's as good as Marner point production wise. I think they could use someone like that on their team, honestly, like an actual bona fide star. Yeah, and then when Carolina had Rantanen, they wanted to trade him for Marner, but Marner didn't want to waive his no move clause, so there's definitely interest in Carolina to get Marner. I think they're one of the top contenders right now. It'd be interesting to see if Marner went there too. These fans would be pissed if he declined that Rantanen trade and then he goes signs it for free. Alright, Chicago, they have 29 million in cap space. I thought they'd have a little more, honestly. And they don't have anyone they really need to sign. Chicago's still deep into their rebuild. They'll probably suck again for at least this coming year, the year after. So I don't know if they're gonna want to sign a free agent like that, but they do need someone with actual skill to play with Bedard. I feel like Bedard is kind of, he's not rotting away, but like I feel like this guy is kind of miserable there with all the players that kind of suck there. I think you need to give Bedard like actual star player to play with, because he's playing with like Khrushchev and like Ryan Donato, and they had good seasons, but like they're not Marner, so they might be interested. Thing is though, I mean they're definitely gonna be interested, but I don't know if Marner's gonna be interested in signing there. But you know, I think kind of similar to Anaheim, I guess, kind of, where it's like not the media pressure, especially not to make the playoff. I think you just want to like help Bedard's production and help his development. I think Marner would be a good guy to go there and kind of help him put up points. I think maybe Marner just constant wants to lay low in the media. I don't know if that's kind of laying low in the media with Chicago. They're a pretty big franchise. I'll say possibility. It's possible. I don't know where Marner's head's at, what he wants to do. If he wants to compete for a cup or kind of just relax for a bit, kind of dilute the situation. Colorado, there's no chance he goes there. I think I'm sure Marner would want to go there, but Avalanche just do not have the cap space to sign them, and that's kind of like the main reason. They only have 8 million and they have their own like free agents to sign, and they can't even afford those guys, so yeah, there's no chance he goes there. All right, Columbus is interesting. They have 40 million. That's the most cap space out of any team I've ranked so far. They can definitely afford him. I don't know how you read Columbus as what their trajectory is. I don't know where they're trying to go. They almost made the playoffs, but at the same time, no one really expected them to, so I'm not really sure what they're gonna do next year. Then again, I think there's a good chance he signs there. There's a chance they like start to make the playoffs. At least this season they showed they can compete for a playoff spot. I think signing a guy like Marner could push them over the edge and get them that much closer. Yeah, I think there's a good chance, honestly. Kind of similar to Anaheim. There's like the media coverage is extremely low there, even more so in Columbus. Probably be nice for him to lay low, kind of just like play a season where he's not under a microscope for all 82 games, and he could just play his game, relax and kind of just get back to doing what he does, and just he probably put up like 115 points if there wasn't so much pressure on him. Apparently pressure is a big issue for all the guys in Toronto, so he's gonna win the Art Ross at this point. Dallas, there's no chance. They have 5 million in cap space, and they have like a bunch of UFAs, and they have RFAs to sign. Like, just Dallas would want them, but like they just can't. I don't think they'll be able to make the money work at all. Detroit, they have 21 million in cap space. They have to sign Patrick Kane, so that'd be like another probably like 4 million. I'm sure Patrick Kane's gonna just keep taking 1-year deals until he wants to retire. And then they gotta sign Soderblom and Bergman. That's probably not gonna eat that much into their into that 21. And then Detroit's interesting because they kind of been spinning their wheels the last few years of making the playoff. I think they took a step back this season. I think they missed the playoff by more points than they did the year prior. I think Detroit is an actual pretty plausible option just because they're that close to making the playoffs and they have the cap space to do it. I think if they sign a guy like Marner, it could push them over the edge. I think they're a top contender, honestly. I think the fact that they're that close to being a playoff team should be enough to entice Marner to go there. I think he would do pretty well there, honestly, playing with guys like Larkin and Raymond. They could use an actual star top 6 player, first line player actually, to play with Raymond. I think that'd make a great first line. I think that line would just pop off. All put up like 90 points probably. And yeah, I think they're a real contender to sign them. Let's go Oilers. Nah, there's no chance he's signing there. Oilers have 12 million in cap space, and that's probably on like 10 million is probably gonna go to like Bouchard. I'm an Oilers fan, just so you guys know. And we have to sign Corey Perry and Connor Brown. They're both UFAs, and yeah, we just purely can't afford it. Plus, I honestly don't want Marner to sign here because he's a playoff choker. We do not need chokers. We need winners. And Oilers are the 2025 Stanley Cup winners. You guys heard it here first. Florida Panthers, they have 19 million. Honestly, if they just like didn't want to sign any of their own UFAs, they could make an offer. But I don't think Florida would be interested in signing Marner, considering the fact that they they saw firsthand that he just can't perform in the playoffs at times. In that series, they took to 7 games. Like, there's no chance that they sign him. They would just rather use that money and sign their own UFAs like Marchand and Bennett. But there's a lot of rumors of Bennett going to free agency, so they would have the money. I'll say I doubt it. I'm not gonna rule it out entirely, but I really doubt it. LA Kings, they have 21 million in cap space, more than enough. I think they're a top contender. Reason being is I don't think they have that like true superstar that can push them over the edge and be like a difference maker. Kind of similar to Carolina though, they don't have like that true star, like someone they can really rely on. And obviously, I don't think that's gonna help them beat the Oilers in the first round, but I think it's gonna go like big free agent hunting because they've kind of just been like, they just like haven't been getting it done in the playoffs. Not to say that Marner is a great playoff guy, but I think they do kind of need to reshape the look of that team because clearly the last 4 years it just hasn't been working, and I think they really need to like reshift their focus. So, like, I mean, that's the reason why their GM got fired and they brought in Ken Holland. Ken Holland said in his interview that he wants to go like big game hunting in the free agency, and that's basically saying he's interested in Marner. Plus, Kings are a playoff team. They make the playoffs every year. Yes, they got eliminated first round last 4 years, but they still make the playoffs, and I don't think pressure is nearly as high in LA to do anything than it is in Toronto. I think there's a good fit. Plus, it's in California. I'm sure Marner's gonna love that. And they throw the whole bag at him. Throw a whole bag at Marner to sign there. So I think they're one of the top contenders. Minnesota, they have 16 million in cap space. I honestly have no idea. I don't think they'll sign him purely just because I think they're gonna go after Brock Besser instead, because I'm pretty sure he's from Minnesota. If it weren't for Brock Besser, I'd say they're a pretty good chance to get him. Like, they're gonna trade out Marco Rossi. He's an RFA, but they're gonna they want to get rid of him for some reason. He's actually good. Put up like 60 points this year. I had him in fantasy. That's how I know. He should sign. Marner should sign here instead of like anywhere else. I think that'd be a good fit. Minnesota has like a lot of good young prospects that are coming up, so they probably want to save that money for eventually when they need to sign these guys. Oh, and then you sign Kaprizov next summer. I'd say there's a good chance though. I could see like some mutual interest between the two. Actually, Marner and Kaprizov on the same line would kind of be insane. They would both put up 100 points. I think they could really both benefit. Montreal, they only have 6 million in cap space. What the heck? Yeah, Montreal, I don't think they're gonna be interested in Marner. One, it's a rival. Like, they're one of the biggest rivals with Toronto. 2, Marner doesn't want to sign to Canada apparently. 3, Montreal is like just coming out of their rebuild. They kind of made the playoffs somehow this year, but like I don't think that's gonna change how their GM sees what they want to do in like free agency and their future plans. I think they kind of just want to keep their prospects they want to continue with their prospects growing and just kind of building their team that way, as opposed to just signing guys just because they made the playoffs and lost in the first round. Then they think they're Stanley Cup contenders. So I don't think there's a chance they sign Marner, and I don't think they should, honestly. I think their prospects will be fine enough to just grow and develop on their own. Nashville, they have 17 million in cap space, but they sucked this year when no one expected them to, so it's kind of hard to say what they're going to do. Apparently they want to like not rebuild, but like they want to retool or something like that. And I don't think Marner is going to want to sign there just because they were trash. I'll say doubt it, because they have the money. I could see them. Actually, no. They're going to do no chance, because I think I don't think they want to go sign a big free agent, because that obviously didn't work out last summer when they signed Stamkos and Brady Shea and Marchessault, and they literally got worse somehow. Devils, they have 12 million in cap space, but they need to sign Luke Hughes. I don't think they'll have, even if they trade out guys, I don't think they'll like want to sign them. They could probably use them, but I think their top 6 is fine. Plus, honestly, I think in like a year or two, they're going to want to sign Quinn Hughes. I'm sure Quinn Hughes will want to leave Vancouver and go to New Jersey. Yeah. I'll say no chance, because I think they're going to prioritize getting Luke Hughes. He's going to at least want like 6. I don't think they're going to trade out money just to sign Marner too. The Islanders, they have 26 million. They won the draft lottery for first overall this year. They honestly don't even have anyone major to sign. They have Noah Dobson, but he's obviously not going to eat up like that much. Probably make like 6 million. Honestly, he had a down year. I don't know where they're gonna go, what their trajectory is. Are they trying to make the playoffs? I don't know. Are they trying to tank? I don't know. There were rumors of him going to the Islanders for some reason, like the last like 2 years. So I think there's a possibility he signs there. It would be pretty funny. Tavares left there. left New York to sign in Toronto, and then 8 years later, Toronto's biggest free agent leaves there to sign in New York. So I think there's a possibility he goes there. Plus, there wouldn't be nearly as much media coverage, except when he makes a trip to Toronto. I think there could be a good fit there. Plus, New York, they just have like no stars. Like they have no star players other than like Barzal, but he's not really like a star. Really, he's like a top 50 player, I guess, but barely actually. Might not even be top 50. And they have Sorokin, but like he's a goalie, so they could really use like an actual star player, because I don't think they've had that since Tavares. Their best player is probably Barzal since then. The Rangers, they had 8 million in cap space. Well, one, that's not gonna be enough, and two, they like sucked this year when they won President's Trophy last year. They're first in the league, and then they missed the playoffs, so I don't think Marner's gonna sign there. Plus the pressure would probably be too much for him to sign there anyway. Ottawa, it would be pretty funny if he signed there, because they're like rivals. They're divisional rivals, but you really don't see it. They have 16 million in cap space, but like, nah, there's no shot. Philadelphia, they have 26 million in cap space. They don't really have anyone they really need to sign. They are kind of like, I don't know what they're doing. I think they're still in their rebuild. They probably still want to like suck for a few years, maybe a year. Actually, they signed Rick Tocchet, and so maybe they'll want to start trying to go for the playoffs. But no, I don't think Marner would really want to sign there. It'd be so random. This would probably be the most random team he could sign with. Actually, they might. I'll say there's a chance, but I doubt it. Just because maybe they want a guy to play with Michkov, try to help his development. Maybe he could benefit from getting like a playmaker with Marner and a goal scorer in Michkov. That would be like the only reason, but like I don't think it like really aligns with their plans and their timeline to get a guy like Marner. Pittsburgh, I don't think they'd be interested. I think they want to tank this year. They could really use a guy like Gavin McKenna, so they should be tanking this year. Plus, their roster is nowhere near like good enough to compete for a playoff spot. So signing Marner would kind of just be like, it's kind of like when they traded for Erik Karlsson. They're like hoping they just like make a big move and then they make the playoffs, but like it just doesn't work. I think it'd be pretty similar if they sign Marner. Plus, you only get like another year of Malkin and 2 years more of Crosby, and then like they're gonna retire after these contracts, I feel. So you might as well just like rebuild now, and by the time they retire, maybe you'll be good enough to try to push for a playoff spot. Maybe. I just don't think it really lines up with what they're trying to do there, honestly. The Sharks, they have 42 million in cap space, so they can for sure afford him, but I don't know if they will want to sign him. It would be cool to see him with like Celebrini, and it would definitely help their top six, but I don't really think it lines up with their plans. I think just because they have the money and they're like an up and coming team, I'll say doubt it. They probably want to suck this year, try to get at least another top 5 pick in the 2026 draft. I'm gonna just say I doubt it. Seattle, they have 20 million cap space, but they're like kind of in no man's land. I don't really know what they're trying to do over there. Like they made the playoffs 3 years ago, and then they've just been like mediocre since, and they just kind of been like, they're not like bad enough to like get a top draft pick, but they're not nearly as good to get into the playoffs. So I don't really know if Marner will want to sign there just for that reason, because they don't really know what they're doing. I think they want to just continue development with like Shane Wright and Beniers and try to get them going. Plus they have other prospects coming up, so I don't think Marner will be interested to sign there. St. Louis, they only have 5 million in cap space, so it would be kind of insane to add Marner to that top 6 with Kyrou and Thomas and Holloway. Yeah, I think they have enough like good young players to play in that top 6 anyway. Plus they don't have the money, so I don't think there's a chance he signs there. Tampa, yeah, like they have just under 6 million in cap space, and like they don't have anyone they really need to sign, but I don't think they want Marner anyway. Like they're fine with their top 6 and their forward core, or they don't really need to go after Marner. Toronto, they have the cap space to sign him if they really needed to. I think it's in everyone's best interest if he honestly moves on, but I wouldn't say it's no chance, honestly. If they did re-sign him, I honestly wouldn't be too surprised. I don't know why they would re-sign him. They really shouldn't, but like I could see them running it back, just because like that's just such a Toronto thing to do. Just keep running it back and just like drive that fan base insane. So I'll say there's a possibility. Yeah, they could sign Tavares for like 6, Marner for like, let's say 12. Probably not. I'd probably make it like 11.5. So let's 17, and then they need to sign Matthew Nyes, and like plus you want to fill the rest of your roster. So I'll say there's a possibility. All right, Utah Mammoth, they might be a top contender. They have 21 million in cap space, so obviously enough to sign them. They don't have any free agents that they need to keep. Plus they're on a team that's like on the come up. They should be competing for the playoffs again. They weren't too far out this year, but they definitely made progress considering they're being their first year there. I think they're going to be a top contender to sign Marner. I think they could really use a guy like that too. Plus Marner signing with like Keller and Gunther and like Logan Cooley, that's going to be nasty for like years. And that would definitely help them make the playoffs. I think they're more worried about making the playoffs than like how they're doing it. So adding Marner to that forward court would probably push them over the edge. And if I'm being honest, I think they would make the playoffs or very least come super close. Plus I think it'd be a good fit there for him just because plus it's like a new team, new place. I'm sure it'd be exciting for Marner to go there and kind of see what it's like. And yeah, I'd say they're a top contender to sign him. Vancouver, they have 14 million. I don't think Marner will want to sign there. They're kind of a tire fire. I don't really know what they're doing. Are they trying to retool? Are they trying to make the playoffs? They should be retooling, honestly. I think last year was kind of a fluke for them because they had a super hot start and then they kind of just rode that into the playoffs. But obviously it wasn't sustainable because they missed the playoffs. I think they shouldn't be trying to sign Marner because if you're signing Marner, you want to make the playoffs basically. So Vancouver is pretty similar to Toronto with like the media pressure, and I'm sure he doesn't want to go to another media pressure high city. Vegas, they have 9 million in cap space. They don't really have anyone they really need to keep, and just because it's Vegas, they're not afraid to move out money just to like sign a guy or like keep their team as a contender. So for that reason, I think there's a good chance. Plus, Vegas is like, they're a good playoff team. They make playoffs every year. Plus, like, once they're in the playoffs, they have a chance to go far. So I think Marner will probably want to be part of that. He'll want to be part of like a winning team, and Vegas can win. They can go on deep runs sometimes. Not this year because Oilers will beat them. I think I could see that being a fit, honestly, and him just like playing good in Vegas too. I think they have like good structure with Bruce Cassidy as their coach. They don't have the money right now. 9.6. He might want to take a discount. I don't know why he would. I could see Vegas just moving money around and trading people out just so they could sign Marner. So I'd say there's a good chance. Washington, they have 9 million in cap space, but they have a few free agents. I don't think Marner really fits into their team, honestly. They could really benefit from like a guy like that because they don't really have a true superstar in their prime. Like they have Ovechkin, but he's 40. They have Strome. He was pretty solid, but I don't think he's not like a top 50 player. I don't think he fits their team. All right, and lastly, Winnipeg. They have 26 million in cap space. They might want to keep Ehlers. They have to sign Velarde. And plus, who wants to play in Winnipeg? No offense. I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't mind, but I don't think Marner will want to sign there, to be honest. Plus, he doesn't want to play in Canada, supposedly. All right, and this is my final list. If I had to pick one team, if I was betting on the team that he will sign with, I think it would be Carolina or LA. Carolina is definitely a better team in the playoffs, but LA is a nicer city. For that reason, he's gonna sign in LA. I think LA is gonna throw a lot of money at Marner because the fact that they've lost in the first round the last 4 years, I think they'll want to like really shake up the look of that team, and signing Marner to immediately become your best player on the roster is gonna like help that a lot. How he does in the playoffs on this team, like that's a different story. Maybe he'll play better in the playoffs just because it's not Toronto and like there's all that mental baggage that they have of just losing and losing. So he can get new mental baggage of losing in LA to the Oilers in the first round next year. So at least he'll get used to it there. I think he'll sign there. I can also just picture him in a Kings jersey too. He would look good in a Kings jersey. This is my final list of where I think Mitch Marner will sign. Let me know where you think Mitch Marner will sign and how much. Curious to see what you guys think of where he'll go. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.